Are all terrorists Muslims, and does it make any sense for police forces in Gujarat to repeatedly stereotype one community in mock terror exercises? Is this symbolic of a larger malaise?
From Surat to Kevadia colony in Narmada district to Morbi in Saurashtra, 3 different locations in Gujarat, the same stereotyping in anti-terror mock drills carried out by the state police last week. After the video showing dummy terrorists wearing skull caps in Surat and Kevadia, a third controversial video has surfaced. Shot during a mock drill in Morbi, it shows a dummy terrorist chanting Islamic slogans.
तो प्राइमरीली ये जो चीज़ है ये नहीं होनी चाहिए और दैट वाज एन अवॉइडेबल मिस्टेक बाय पुलिस ऑफिसर्स। इस मामले में एक प्रिलिमिनरी लेवल पे हम जांच करवा रहे हैं और अगर ये डिलिबरेटली कुछ हुआ है या तो किसी ने जानबूझ के किया है तो वी विल टेक स्ट्रिक्टेस्ट ऑफ द एक्शन अगेंस्ट दैट।
Reacting on the Surat mock drill, Gujarat CM, who earlier said it was wrong to link religion with terror, chose to remain silent today. थोड़ा मॉक ड्रिल के ऊपर थोड़ा जो कंट्रोवर्सी
अरे भाई इसमें क्या
राज्य सरकार का क्या कंट्रोवर्सी? The opposition Congress has now stepped up its attack.
इसके पूछे पूरी आरएसएस की साजिश के तहत कार्यक्रम चल रहा है। पुलिस तंत्र पे तो एक्शन लेना चाहिए, पर साथ साथ में इस पुलिस तंत्र को ऐसे एजेंडा लागू करने के लिए किसने भी ये उकसाया था, इसके भी खिलाफ जांच होनी चाहिए।
Former police officers and experts have questioned the rationale behind identifying dummy terrorists, as the terror groups are known to use subtle strategies to disguise their identities.
Whatever terrorist attacks have been there in the country, in different parts of the country, we have never seen skull caps or wearing the traditional dress which the community wears. They come in dresses and they merge with the common man, with the public, so that their identity is not disclosed.
While the state police probes whether it was a deliberate or an inadvertent error, the mock drills perhaps reflect a wider disturbing mindset to perpetuate stereotypes in the attempt to identify terror. In Ahmedabad, Rohit Ban for NDTV.
Well, from Surat to the Kevadia colony in the Narmada district to Morbi in Saurashtra, 3 different locations in Gujarat, and the same stereotyping does continue. Is this symbolic of a larger malaise? What exactly is going wrong over here? Joining us now to discuss is the former Director General of Police in Gujarat, Mr. Sri Kumar. Shaina NC of the BJP joins us. Mr. C.R. Kesavan, spokesperson of the Congress, with us. And Kamal Farooqi with me in the studio, the former chairperson of the Delhi Minorities Commission and the founder executive member of the Muslim Personal Law Board. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. Let me just go across to Shaina NC at this stage.
Very well.
Shaina, how does the BJP react to this? Is this a case of a huge mistake, a huge insensitivity, or how does your party react to this?
Vishnu, let me be very, very blatantly honest. First and foremost, our party has always said that terror has no religion. Irrespective of who a terrorist is, we don't subscribe this philosophy of Hindu terror or saffron terror, or for that matter Islamic terror, or for that matter to even suggest that jihadis, or to use this kind of language. We've had a secular versus pseudo-secular debate in this country going on for generations, and I think that the BJP wants to rise above it. We do have our intelligence agencies who have been working round the clock. Our Home Department has been extremely proactive, and I think you can find no fault in the Modi government, because there's been no kind of discrimination vis-a-vis any human being based on his religion or his allegiance, and to suggest that that is the cause of terror. Terror is clearly to be viewed with no kind of laxity, and our government is not just going to talk strongly and tough vis-a-vis issues of the border, but even vis-a-vis any kind of infiltration in our country is not going to be dealt with sparingly.
Mr. C.R. Kesavan of the Congress party, is this acceptable to you, sir, what the BJP has to say?
Vishnu, the geopolitical environment of our subcontinent for many years now, and also the advent of global terror transcending boundaries, makes it very important to sensitize, police forces in the advent of a terror attack. That is a given. But the worry here is what has happened in Gujarat. Like you mentioned, 3 incidents. this is not ad hoc. You know, it smacks of sinister symbolism, which is very disquieting, because it sows the seeds of distress among our people and also has grave consequences for our integrity and unity of the country. Let me just make 2 points, Vishnu. The first point is this. See, if you take Gujarat, for example, is this ad hoc? Are these 3 incidents ad hoc, or are they indicative pattern of a larger mindset, of a larger mentality, where there is institutional bias, which indulges in subliminal stereotyping, of minorities, in communal conditioning, of the police forces, and also religious. Let me complete, madam. Please don't be defensive. Please don't be defensive. I'm raising a question. Let me complete. I was civil enough to let you complete. I was civil enough to let you complete. Kindly let me. You're being defensive. If you interrupt me, you're defensive. The question is whether there is communal conditioning or religious, profiling. That is the question. And why is this become serious here, Vishnu? We have to understand that because the significance is Gujarat. And there have been so many instances where even senior IPS officers and
let me ask you
police
this.
officers have been, in jail
in September 2012. In September 2012 in Nagpur, this is when the Congress was in power in Maharashtra, right? There was an incident where exactly the same thing happened. There was a mock terror drill at the airport, and airport security agencies had dressed up people wearing skull caps and flowing kurtas, right? These people were made to look like quote-unquote Muslims.
I'm not aware of it. Vishnu, I'm not aware of it, but if it happened, it is definitely wrong. Whether it
happened and it's condemned.
One thing.
So the point is, if the BJP has condemned this incident and they have said that it's wrong, then how can the Congress party go after the BJP when they themselves have been in a government when this has happened?
Not at all, Vishnu. Not at all, Vishnu. Let me complete. I am not aware of this, but if it had happened, it is definitely wrong, even if the Congress party had done it. But the issue is this has not taken so much significance, because Maharashtra is not like Gujarat. Gujarat is having a history. I told you the number of fake encounters, smacks of ulterior motive.
We are not talking about fake encounters. We are talking about stereotyping. Achha, 1 second, both of you. So you had a point, go ahead. Mr. Kamal Faruqi has a point. Shaina, I'll come to you next. Mr. Faruqi has a point to make, and then I'll come to you next, Shaina. Go ahead.
No, unfortunately, we are unnecessarily trying to politicize it. And let me remind Mr. Keshav, of course, whatever is happening in Gujarat, and this is the third in consecutive time. And the first immediate reaction of the people in Gujarat was as if nothing has happened. Then after a lot of pressure, they apologized it. But again, this third thing has come up. So this has to be seen in a different perspective. But at that same time, Mr. Keshav, I would remind you not only this Pune, even in Delhi Batla House case, when I was the commissioner, chairman of the Minority Commission, the fact was that they were buying the scarf, and all those things were put in on those people who were arrested. When I asked specifically, why are you buying these scarf which are being used by the Muslims? They had no answer. So, for heaven's sake, don't try to say that it is only being done in BJP state. Yes, it is condemnable, but it was Congress also regime which was doing it. Now, the question, real question is, why this malaise is going on? And it is happening every day. In fact, it is happening. We have been crying that the police is not sensitized wherever it happens. And I can tell you 10 cases just now, but paucity of the time will not allow me, wherein the police have been discriminating to the minorities, particularly the Muslims. Why it is happening? Because Muslims do not have the representation in the police office, police department.
Yeah.
We do not have, but rather it is absolutely abysmal as far as NI is concerned or the CPI is concerned. When this is going to happen, when the weaker sections, the minorities, the people who are oppressed otherwise, if they don't have the representation, then God will save this country and the minorities.
Mr. Srikumar, why don't you come in here as a former Director General of Police? What is this indicative of? Is this some sort of a societal malaise? Is this a political issue? Or is this the problem within the police force which doesn't know better than to dress up people as terrorists and say, look, and dress them up as if they are Muslims?
Now, for me, there is nothing surprising in this police action. This is symptomatic of saffronization of police force since 1995. There are many instances. 2002 post-Godhra incident riots is indicative of this thing. People who have participated, collaborated, aided, facilitated and enabled the rioters and rioting against minorities. They have been rewarded, given post-retirement benefits, post-retirement placements, etc. And 3 officers, 3 IPS officers who had submitted evidence, they are still facing the harassment from the government. They are submitted charge sheets. There are cases pending against them, etc., etc. Then this is done by the laboratory of Hindutva, that is Gujarat, with a view to communalize Hindus. Because communalization of Hindus is essential.
But sir, as we've been saying, this is happening in many other states as well. This has happened in Maharashtra in the past. Sir, how can we just say that it happens in Gujarat?
How can you stereotype like this? And
what I don't say that Maharashtra it must be happening, because I should be allowed to complete. It is unprofessional. It is against the DPM. It is against the Gujarat Police Manual. Gujarat Police Manual, it is violating Gujarat Police Manual. And unprofessional because nowhere it is, the people come, shout slogans, pro-Islamic slogans and come. And they will, in Kashmir, they came in the form of army, in the army uniform.
Mr. Srikumar, is it your basic point that this is on the basis of instructions from the state government in Gujarat that the police force is deliberately stereotyping Muslims? Is that what you're trying to say, sir?
Not exactly that, because career advancement of a police officer is linked with fully supporting to the hidden agenda of the BJP and Sangh Parivar, that is saffronization and communalization of Hindu population. So and there are instances of many people getting rewards. The people who were responsible for major riots in Ahmedabad city, etc., they are given post-retirement placements. They are still in service after 6-7 years of service. And people who have taken action, all of them were punished, given bad postings, and they have been suspended. They are superseded, etc.
All right, I want China to respond to a lot of the points. I think the most interesting point that Mr. Srikumar had to make over there was that it's not because of any political directive that these were carried out in Gujarat. It's because these policemen wanted to ingratiate themselves with a system which they identify as a quote-unquote saffron system. And therefore, they felt obliged to do this, possibly to further their own careers.
First and foremost, I wouldn't even want to respond to what Mr. Srikumar said, because everyone knows his hidden agenda, which has been apparent for year after year vis-a-vis everything to do with Gujarat government and the BJP, and particularly Mr. Modi. Let's move beyond that. Does terror have any religion? No, clearly not. Is terror to be dealt with harshly? Clearly yes. Now, we have had the Congress spokesperson talk about varied incidents. Let me please remind him about the absolute vote bank politics he has played vis-a-vis the Batla House, where you have a senior leader, let me not even name whom, who goes and visits terrorists. What is this kind of allegiance? You have an Afzal Guru who is being hung, and you have these so-called secular minds questioning his actual hanging. I think that I don't need to certify whether our actions are correct or incorrect. We've had, one second, Vishnu, please. I've listened to everyone point fingers at us. They have point fingers at us as if to suggest that we are communal in nature. We have risen beyond every vote bank politics, and we have said that anyone who is a terrorist needs to be dealt with sternly, irrespective of background, irrespective of allegiance.
All those kind of things, in fact. Right now, China, the issue is, when you will start discussing all these kind of things, then it needs a little more time. Now, right now, the issue is why this is happening in the consecutive term. Three identical incidents happened. Why not?
Exactly, sir.
Why not even one tilak has been put on one particular person? Why not any other community has been reflected like this?
Vishnu,
I'm not for that. But what I'm trying to say is, why do you demonize the community?
I'll add to what Kamal Farooqi sir is saying.
But who is identifying that this is a community or not? It is for the intelligence agency.
China, don't the Gujarat government feel?
I am not politicizing.
Don't the Gujarat feel ashamed of it?
At us, there's a limit up to which we will tolerate. And if our government has been proactive in handling terror, I don't think we need to go beyond. This stereotyping is done by other parties.
No, but why? You cannot. Dekhiye, China, agar anybody else is doing anything wrong, why don't you feel ashamed of your state government? This is happening for the third time. Why it is happening? Do you have any...
Our Chief Minister in the state has gone on record. I please request you to read her statement. And I request you to read all the statements by all our national leaders and see our actions in accordance.
Why not punish those
officers?
officers?
Flashing on NDTV as well.
Why not
the
punish
fact
those
is
officers
that the
immediately?
Congress has no issue left.
Vishnu, let me come in here for a second.
But the point here is that our actions,
no, let me just come in here with a statement.
Mr. I'll come to you next. Let China finish her point.
Religion and no color.
Okay.
Vishnu, I just want to make one brief point.
Yes.
If you can hold our government guilty of acting in a biased way, clearly put us in the dock. If we have acted in an unbiased way and dealt with terror sternly, irrespective of any religious allegiance, and where we have had a statement on record by our tallest leaders, Prime Minister, Chief Minister and all, saying that terror has no religion, please give us the benefit that we are a performing government and we are not going to fall into this trap of secular versus pseudo-secular and this communal pitch which is completely bashed in our face.
It doesn't
time
make
and again.
sense for any
Vishnu,
police
let
force
me
in the
answer
world,
this.
or certainly in India, to be of the belief that terrorists are only Muslims. It doesn't make sense because we know that terrorists don't dress a particular way. This seems to be, to many, a stupid mistake which has taken place.
Vishnu,
yes, it's happened, but the fact is it's been condemned. Are we making too big a deal of it?
Let me say why you don't trust the BJP here, because why are we saying that smacks of linking, terror to religion is this? Every time, whether it was Sakshi Maharaj who made a statement and then said, I'm sorry, whether it was Sadhvi Niranjan who made a statement and said, I regret it, this has been a government which their words never square off with their action. Their words are not commensurate to what they, let me complete this. They don't, whatever they say, they don't follow up. After Sakshi Maharaj, please let me complete. Don't be defensive. After Sakshi Maharaj made a statement, after Sadhvi made a statement, why still Love Jihad and Garva Pasi continue? That is the problem here. Vishnu, the issue is...
All right, we are getting away. Mr. Keshwan, we are getting away from this subject at this stage.
I can even keep on talking and deflecting from the issue.
One point, did the Chief Minister institute an inquiry? Did the Chief Minister institute an inquiry? Do you know who the investigation officer is? Is there a time frame for an inquiry?
Shaina, last word to you. Answer that question. Will there be some sort of time-bound inquiry in this?
You've had the Chief Minister on record say that it was a mistake. You've had the Chief Minister on record say that we don't believe that terror has any color and we are a government that is going to take tough decisions. You've had the Prime Minister act through his intelligence agencies and through his entire Home Department, which has only given firm messages vis-a-vis terror. We have never ever suggested that terrorist outfits come from a particular religious organization.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Just
Faruqi Sahab,
just 5 seconds. Just 5 seconds.
Maybe you should ask them. And the Congress is only getting defensive time and again when they don't want to address the core issue.
All right, 1 minute. All of you, the debate is ending now. We've run out of time. Faruqi Sahab, sir, if I had 5 seconds, I would let you speak. But unfortunately, we don't have 5 seconds. I'd like to thank all of you very much for joining us. We're completely out of time on this. Coming up after that, a report from Mumbai on how the city was on its knees this morning because the commuter rail system failed in many parts.